Welcome everybody to Red Hair Travel Channel. This video is about our 6-day Southwest USA road trip, the Grand Canyon, Monument Valley, Bryce, Zion, and so much more. It was beyond awesome, and I'm gonna show you everything. We took a morning flight from Vancouver to Las Vegas in the middle of April, rented a car at the Enterprise office, and then we had an unexpectedly delicious brunch at Public Gas. Believe me, you don't want to miss this place. Then we spent a few hours in Vegas. That was my first time there, and it's just wow! I've never imagined the city to be so interesting. Yes, it's crowded, expensive, and smells like a cigarette, but also beautiful, full of life, music, fun, tasty food, and crazy people. It's like an amusement park for adults in the middle of a rocky desert. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to explore all of the city, but enjoyed as much as possible. After 3 hours, we headed to our hotel in Williams. That day we drove about 370 kilometers, and our adventure has just begun. The next day, one of my dreams came true. I saw the Grand Canyon. And not just from the viewpoints, I hiked inside of it for 21 kilometers. We did two most popular Grand Canyon trails in one day, Kaibab and Bright Angel via Tonto Connector. First, we took a free shuttle from the tourist office parking lot and went down the Kaibab Trail. And the views there, they were just unreal, like from another planet. The day was sunny and very windy. At one point we had to bend down and move that way not to be blown away. It's crazy how it's windy here. By the way, a very important tip: never wear white pants on the hike. Mine could rest in peace after the Great Canyon. We almost made it to the next station, and now we are in the middle of Great Canyon. After lunch, we turned off to the Tonto Connector, a very flat and less popular trail. I had to change clothes because the temperature inside the canyon was very, very hot. All in all, this part was nice and easy until I almost stepped on a rattlesnake. It didn't want to leave the trail, so we had to go around it. For me, honestly, it was not a pleasant surprise at all, so if you go in to take the same route, watch your step. Just to show you my face in the middle of the hike, you can see that it's all red and it's really hot. The hike is not easy, but it's really worth it, so just start early, take lots of water, layers, and it'll be good. Finally, we made it to the Bright Angels camping site and water station, had some rest there, and started our way up the canyon. Now, usually when you go on a hike, you're going up and then down, which is much easier. In Grand Canyon, you're always going down first and then going up at the end, which is much harder, but it's canyon, so we are going up our final 7 kilometers with elevation 1000 meters. Whew. I'm already tired, but still happy. Hope we'll be in time to the sunset. We did this trail in 8 hours. It was so beautiful that sometimes I had to pinch myself to prove it was real. It was so hot that I could barely feel or move my legs at the end, but I was so happy and grateful, and I really recommend you spend some time inside the canyon. Maybe take some easy trails if you're short on time. It's totally different experience than just from the viewpoints. Experience you'll remember for the rest of your life. Believe me. By the time we got to the parking lot, it was already dark. We warmed up some soup in the jet boil and headed toward our hotel in Tuba City. That day we drove just 225 kilometers. It was a special day, a day of Monument Valley. We went early as I read some reviews about crowds of cars at the entrance. Yep, there was a line, but not so long. After 15 minutes we were inside. You can buy the entrance ticket online or on site. You know, it's better to see Monument Valley once with your own eyes than to hear about it or watch it on video 1,000 times, because whatever I tell you or show you about it, it won't be enough to express its monumentality. We drove 17 miles loop for about an hour and a half, did stops at every rock that was marked on the official map, took pictures and adored the beauty of this place. I really loved it. On the way to Page, we got caught in a sandstorm. They're quite frequent in this area. Our hotel in Page was located near the Glen Canyon Dam overlook. Walked there in the sunset. Today we drove 390 kilometers. The next morning we decided to check a local hidden gem, the New Wave, as they call it on Google and all trails. The place was gorgeous and there were no people around. Highly recommend it. After the wave, we drove to the iconic Horseshoe Band lookout. We've been there at 11 a.m. and paid parking was almost full. The place is really nice but overcrowded. 12 p.m. we had the lower Antelope Canyon. You can't go inside it by yourself, only with a tour, and it's not allowed to take videos. The canyon is amazing. Its shapes and colors are just like a fire dance. But honestly, I didn't like the tour. Our guide was impatient and didn't say anything interesting about the place. We had one more place to explore, a canyon which many call an alternative to the Antelope Canyon. Its name is Buckskin Gulch. According to Wikipedia, this is the longest and deepest slot canyon in the southwestern United States. You also need a special permit here. I got one at recreation.gov as soon as I knew the license plate of the car we rented. The trail starts at the sign Wire Pass Trailhead, and it's very easy. Nice rock formations all around. The canyon itself is unbelievable. We went there at 4 p.m. The sun was low, lots of shadows and brown colors. I think around 12 p.m. it has a similar tint to Antelope. We hiked inside 9 kilometers, quietly, with almost no one around. It was chilly, wild, a little scary, and so cool. In Buckskin Gulch, I could feel the nature, and it seemed like the nature could sense our presence too. In a giant cave, we explored ancient petroglyphs, had some hot tea, and returned to the sun. Don't make me wrong, Antelope Canyon is stunning, but with other tourists and on guides and rules, I didn't have time to really enjoy it. There, in Buckskin Gulch, it was adventurous and live. It should be on your bucket list for sure. Overall, we drove around 180 kilometers and spent the night in Canop Town. We are in Bryce Canyon, and although it's April, it's pretty cold out here, around 4 or 5 degrees Celsius, and you could see snow there. So I put all my clothes on and we go in on a hike. Bryce Canyon is famous for its orange hoodoos. These irregular columns of rock exist on every continent, but Bryce Canyon is the largest concentrations found anywhere on Earth. I believe the most beautiful also. We hiked Navajo Loop and Queen's Garden Trail, then drove up to the Rainbow Point and back, stopping at every lookout. My favorite is Bryce Point, don't miss it! Well, it was very optimistic to plan just 6 days for the Southwest US Canyon road trip. Every place was so different, so fascinating, that the time was accelerated twice at least. Yet we still had time to visit everything that we wanted to see, but I was seriously thinking about skipping our last stop, Zion. That day I found a very good hotel offer in the middle of a canyon, and Zion was destined to be. Pure luck, cause Zion National Park turned out to be magnificent. Its huge green mountains reminded me of the views from Avatar movie, and I couldn't take my eyes off this fantastic landscape and drove silently down the brick-colored highway. 328 kilometers for that day. The next day we decided to hike Scout Lookout Trail in Zion. I don't know if it was the weekend or something, but there were so many people and the parking lot was already full at 9 a.m. So we took a free shuttle, got off the bus at the number 6 bus stop, the Grotto. One of the most popular trails in Zion is Antel's Landing, and it also starts here. Scout Lookout is around 6 kilometers long, elevation is 340 meters, and the views are breathtaking. From the Scout Lookout we hiked another kilometer up, turned back and drove to Las Vegas. We spent a few hours in Las Vegas and had a flight to Vancouver at 10 p.m. Even at the airport, on every corner there were slot machines. Many people were desperate to try their luck there. We didn't have time and interest to make a fortune, but it felt like we already did. So great and beautiful was our adventure. Southwest will be back. Detailed itinerary of our 6-day Southwest USA road trip, maps and other useful information you can find on redhairtravel.com. I will appreciate your likes, comments and subscriptions. Have great adventures, everybody!